It's an overcast day here at the village, and those dark clouds look like a bad omen. You might think that sounds superstitious, and that's what I thought too, until I stepped into the assorted electronics section and I saw something I haven't seen in a while. A dark plague that I thought was behind us, but just like the inevitable invasion of fruit flies every single August, it looks like they're back. That's right. Rock Band and Guitar Hero controllers, holy crap. I thought for sure they weren't going to bother with these things anymore, but here they are. Look at how much space these take up. You could fit so many game consoles in here. Although it is more likely that they would just fill this space with old telephones and internet modems. I honestly don't know which is worse. How much do they want for this piece of crap? $10! Wow. Jeez, I hope they either sell quickly or they hang them up on a wall somewhere else, because this could be valuable real estate space for something much cooler like a Nintendo Gamecube, which I've never actually seen here, although I have seen plenty of controllers. Like this one right here in a very fetching shade of blue. The way it's wrapped up covers where the logo would be, so I have no idea if this is a cheap third-party controller or something that's officially licensed. But it looks like it's in pretty good condition. The analog stick is pretty grimy, but I actually have a pack of those coming in the mail. Here's a Disney plug-and-play joystick made by Jakks Pacific. It has 5 built-in games, and they all suck. Oh wow, here's a Sandisk Ultra 32GB SD card still in the packaging. That's something I've never seen here before. $10, that's... well, this has a max speed of 80 megs per second. You can get ones for the same price on Amazon that do 120. Actually, you can get a 3-pack of those for about $25. What else do they have here? Whoa, what the... Yeah, wow, this is a Sony Dvd Handycam. Strange to see this over here. Usually this stuff goes on the shelf. They might have put it over there, but they probably don't have the room because of all those Guitar Hero controllers. But yeah, this even has the battery, and I'm sure the charger is probably around here somewhere. It's the DCR DVD 203, which was released back in 2005 for $1,000 US. Now here it is, hanging on a hook in a little plastic bag for $10. It's just standard definition, although it does shoot in 16:9 with its 1 megapixel image sensor. Unfortunately, that image sensor is only 1/5 of an inch, which is really small for a video camera. You know, bigger than a smartphone's image sensor, but odds are your smartphone blows this thing out of the water in terms of image quality. Here's a WinTV PVR USB 2 by I actually have no idea how to pronounce that, but it's bizarre to see a brand use an exclamation point in their name. You can connect this to your Windows XP PC to capture standard definition video from RF, S-video, and composite video sources. For $8, I kind of wish I picked this up because I don't have any way of capturing RF or S-video. RF is pure hot garbage, of course, but S-video is great for standard definition. So yeah, I do wish I bought this, but I'm trying to be conservative with my cash flow. That makes visiting the village a real test of willpower. Here's a nunchuck for the Nintendo Wii with a really interesting color scheme. Kinda reminds me of Mario with the red and blue, so maybe that's what they were going for. You know, the only reason I bought a Wii back in the day is because I thought I could play games with it with one hand, which leaves my other hand open for snacking. But almost every game requires using a Wiimote and a nunchuck, so, you know, there goes that idea. And what the hell is this? They kinda look like Wiimotes, but like the worst possible third-party version. I'm not even sure if these are for the Wii. Maybe it's for one of those cheap Wii knockoffs. I think I saw one of those around here. Yeah, this one right here. Look at this. It's the Wireless Sports TV Plus video game. Well, I guess those were third-party Wiimotes because the controllers that come with this thing only have 2 buttons and a D-pad. I like that the box says 20 games included. There isn't a disc drive or cartridge slot, so those are literally the only games for this system in the first place. I looked it up on YouTube, and it turns out all of those games are just as bad as you would expect. Still like to see weird stuff like this, though. And there's been a few weird video game things kicking around the village lately. Like, check this out. This is a cartridge for the Zavix gaming system. I didn't come across the Zavix console anywhere, but that would have been really cool because they aren't very common. You know, it doesn't mean they're desirable or anything. It's actually pretty terrible, and uses motion controls just like the Wii. But it isn't a Wii knockoff because it was actually released before the Wii. The most interesting thing about the console is how the games are inserted. You can see here on the cart where it says like push down and slide. It's hard to explain, but that's how you insert the games into the console. It's kind of like a Nintendo, but you push before you slide. Pretty cool stuff. What else do they got here? Atari games. Strange to see these here, not in the glass display case. A couple Activision games, Tennis and Skyjinx. Classics. Same with Maze Craze by Atari. Any fan of the system would scoop these up, I'm sure. Personally, I don't see the appeal. My interest in video gaming starts with the NES. Or, you know, maybe old DOS games. Got a soccer game here for the Genesis. That's too bad. Glad it's not under the glass for $15 though. Here's Tutankhamun for the Intellivision. Or is that Two Tank Ham? I guess this was programmed by Konami back in 1983. Funny to think that they released Castlevania only 3 years later. You know, not really my thing, but still kinda cool to see it here. Just like all these National Geographic's VHS tapes from the days before they had their own TV channel. How iconic is this image of the woman with the pale blue eyes? Just like Saints Row 3 for the PS3. I almost bought this before realizing I already own it, although mine is the digital version. I would have picked it up anyways, but they wanted $10 for it. This is pretty awesome though. And again, I already have the Steam version of GTA San Andreas, but this is the complete PC version, including the hardcover book. And for $8? Hell yeah, I'm buying this. And that's not the only GTA game they've got here either. Here's Vice City for the PS2, which again, I already own, but the copy I have is, it's pretty scratched up and stops working about 5 minutes into the game. And this disc was in much better shape, and although there's no manual, it's only $5, so yeah, why the hell not? What else do they have here? Medal of Honor, Rising Sun, not bad. Mystery 4-pack. No idea. Another Medal of Honor. Call of Duty. Ooh, X-Men Legends, Rise of Apocalypse. I had the first X-Men Legends for the Gamecube back in the day, and I had a lot of fun with it too, but I don't know if it's something I could get into now. Another Medal of Honor game. Lots of great Xbox 360 games too. Well, not all of them, of course. Never played it, but I guess this The Walking Dead game is a real turd. Resident Evil 5, though, definitely the better of the two zombie games that they have here. Not gonna lie, though, this is just a series that's never clicked with me. I think it's all the poking around you gotta do in menus. Here's Wolfenstein for the 360 for $8. Yeah, that's interesting. Right beside it, I found GTA Vice City Stories for the PS2 for $5. Now we're talking turkey. Definitely buying that to go along with Vice City. And they also had a few games for that VTech MobiGo that was featured in our last episode. Still sealed. For $5. That'd be pretty good for someone with kids. For whenever they're bad and you take away their Nintendo Switch, you can give them these to play as punishment. Here's a copy of Monster Madness Battle for Suburbia, which was sold at Blockbuster for $10 back when they went out of business, but you can get it here for $8. Wow, that's a terrible game. I would not recommend it. Hitman Absolution is better, but again, you'd be the third person to own this, at least, and they want $8. $5 would seem a lot more fair to me as long as the discs weren't all scratched up. I paid $10 for Halo 4 and the disc ended up not working. Could have been worse though. I could have paid $4 for this copy of the Black Eyes Peas Experience, only to turn around to find out that it actually works. I just did a quick 180 to face the CDs, and the first thing I noticed was this electric guitar book DVD package thing. I'd love to be awesome at guitar and wail out huge solos and melt faces and all that, but whatever, let's just see what else they've got. What's this? Beach Boys' Greatest Hits. Nothing about this appeals to me. Here's some Xtina. Part of that appeals to me, but not the music. And if you think that's sexist, then please explain the popularity of Enrique Iglesias, who I'm sure is in here somewhere, although I can't find him. He's like the Where's Waldo of good-looking people who can barely do what they're famous for doing. That's not fair. Maybe he is a good singer. I'm just judging him solely on that song Hero, which the local radio station plays all the time for some reason. It's a terrible song, terrible lyrics, terrible vocals, which is kind of like the radio station's thing, so I guess that's why they play it all the time. Speaking of terrible singers, here's some Marilyn Manson, Smells Like Children. I wish it was Portrait of an American Family because I like that one a lot more than this. But hey, for $2 I'm gonna pick this up because, it does have some good songs on it that I haven't heard since I was a spooky kid. Okay, not really, but I did dress up as one on the very last Halloween that I went around trick-or-treating with my friends. In case you're curious to how incredibly old I am. And you can't talk about controversial bands without mentioning these guys. Seriously though, I remember hearing a rumor that the oldest Hanson brother was actually Marilyn Manson. And if you think I'm gonna say anything bad about Hanson, then I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I do not punch down. I also found the Presidents of the United States of America's first album, and No Doubt's Greatest Hits. I'm not usually a fan of greatest hit albums. I'd rather listen to a band's best album than their greatest hits, but oh well, No Doubt only has, 3 albums? And I've never found anything except Tragic Kingdom, so until I do, this will suffice. Ooh, and I just noticed 7 Mary 3's American Standard. I had this one back in the day because I really like the song Cumbersome. Ooh, nice. I love finding albums by local bands, and this is a Pictou County rock classic, Wish by Beyond Ash. I'm pretty sure I already have a copy of this, but I don't know for sure, so I'm gonna buy it. This might not be local, but it is Canadian. Roch Voisine, which sounds like Roch Voisine, and that makes me think about how now that pot is legal in Canada, I bet that Visine sales have plummeted. Here's another great Canadian band, Gob. This album produced a few poppy punk hits for them up here in the Great White North. It was like a little Gob resurgence back in the early 2000s. Check out their music video for I Hear You Calling if you've never heard of them. Great song, great video, hell yeah, I'm getting this. The glove box in my car is pathetically small, so picking up a little CD wallet would be a great idea. They're located right here under the cassette tape caddies. This one by Case Logic is a little dirty, but it cleaned up real easy once I got it home. It has room for 24 CDs, and it was only $3. Can't beat that. And now that we've got some tunes, let's hit the road. But first, let's check out the glass display case to see if they've got anything new, and as far as I can tell, the only new thing here is that copy of the Sims 2 Mansion and Garden stuff for $15, which is a very average price, I guess. Oh man, why are people willing to pay so much for an old Sims expansion pack? It's something I'll never understand. Same with that $100 Game Boy Color that used to be here. I'd definitely pay that much if it had a backlit screen mod, but those go for well over $200 because you can actually see what the hell's going on in the game when you're playing it. Other than that, it's, the same old overpriced stuff we've been looking at for the last however many episodes. Yeah, I should have probably skipped the glass display case, but at this point it's, habitual in nature. Whoa, I just realized that Monkey's live album isn't here anymore. That means someone paid $300 for an old concert ticket stub and a live recording from some random show they did at a casino in Ontario. Geez, I hope they don't regret their purchase too much. After the drugs wore off. Nah, that was mean. Who am I to judge what other people spend their money on? I've spent well over $1,000 on stuff at the village that most people would probably consider junk. But that junk has brought me happiness, as temporary as it might have been. So as long as that incredibly overpriced Monkey CD brings them happiness, then that's all that matters at the end of the day. Alright, well, this wasn't the best episode. In fact, it was one of the weakest in this series so far. But hey, at least we ended on a positive note, and that's the way it should always be when you visit the Village of Values.